The young woman stood on the sidewalk with 2 worn suitcases, a landlord's eviction notice trembling in her hands, and nowhere left to go. The only person willing to offer her a place to stay was a quiet, hard-working contractor living in an old neighborhood on the edge of Chicago. Everyone believed he was barely making ends meet. Even she felt sorry for him. What she didn't know was that the man repairing cracked walls with his own hands secretly owned the largest construction empire in the city. If you believe kindness, forgiveness, hope, and second chances can change lives, please like this video, leave a meaningful comment, share this story with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to our channel so you never miss another emotional journey with our family and our community. Vivian Harper had always believed that hard work would eventually solve every problem. At 32, she worked as an interior designer for a small architecture firm, but when the company unexpectedly closed, her savings disappeared faster than she imagined. After months of searching for work, unpaid rent piled higher each week until her landlord finally asked her to leave. Embarrassed and heartbroken, she refused to ask friends for help because many of them were already struggling themselves. An elderly family friend introduced her to a contractor named Graham Winslow, explaining that he rented a spare room to people who needed temporary help. She hesitated at first, worried about becoming a burden, but she had no other choice. Graham welcomed her with a warm smile instead of questions. His modest brick home looked ordinary. The furniture was simple, the kitchen was spotless, and the garage was filled with tools, ladders, and dusty work boots. Every morning he left before sunrise wearing faded jeans and a weathered work jacket. Every afternoon he returned carrying lumber, blueprints, or paint samples. Vivian quickly concluded he was barely earning enough to maintain the house. She often insisted on cooking dinner or cleaning shared spaces because she hated feeling dependent. What surprised her most was Graham's generosity. Although he charged almost nothing for rent, he never treated her like a charity case. He simply reminded her that everyone needs help at some point in life. During the following weeks, Vivian noticed something unusual. Wherever Graham worked, neighborhoods slowly transformed. He hired young apprentices who had struggled to find jobs, paid elderly craftsmen fair wages, and quietly repaired damaged homes belonging to widows without charging them a single dollar. People greeted him with genuine affection rather than fear or admiration. To them, he wasn't just a contractor. He was someone who always showed up when families needed hope. One sunny afternoon, Vivian accompanied him to deliver supplies to a community center undergoing renovation. She watched children run toward Graham with excitement. Teachers thanked him for replacing broken classrooms at almost no cost. He simply smiled and changed the subject whenever anyone praised him. The more time Vivian spent with him, the more confused she became. How could someone with so little give away so much? Meanwhile, Graham admired Vivian's resilience. Despite losing nearly everything, she never complained. She volunteered at food drives while searching for work and spent evenings redesigning nonprofit offices free of charge so struggling organizations could create welcoming spaces for families. Neither realized how deeply they inspired the other. One afternoon, everything changed. Vivian finally secured an interview with one of Chicago's largest development companies. Excited but nervous, she entered the impressive downtown headquarters. As she waited in the reception area, employees suddenly stood to greet someone arriving through the main entrance. Vivian turned around. Her heart nearly stopped. Walking confidently through the lobby was Graham. Except he wasn't wearing dusty work clothes. He wore a tailored suit, and every executive welcomed him with enormous respect. Before she could understand what was happening, a receptionist quietly explained that Graham Winslow was the founder, chairman, and majority owner of the entire company. He wasn't merely a contractor. He was the wealthiest real estate developer in Chicago. Vivian felt completely overwhelmed. Every assumption she had made about him suddenly collapsed. Later that afternoon, Graham explained the truth. Years earlier, after building his company, he promised himself he would never become disconnected from ordinary people. He still worked on construction sites several days each week because buildings were created by skilled hands long before executives signed contracts. He believed leadership should begin with service rather than status. The modest house where she had been living wasn't chosen because he lacked money. It reminded him of the small home where his late parents had taught him humility, honesty, and compassion. Vivian admitted she felt embarrassed for underestimating him. Graham gently smiled. He confessed that many people judged him by his dusty boots, but those who looked beyond appearances usually became lifelong friends. Soon afterward, Vivian accepted a design position within Graham's company. Not because of favoritism. She earned it through talent, creativity, and determination. Her fresh ideas helped transform affordable housing developments into beautiful communities families were proud to call home. Working together every day allowed their friendship to deepen naturally. They challenged each other to think differently. Graham encouraged Vivian to believe in herself again. Vivian reminded Graham that even the strongest people needed someone willing to share life's burdens. Months later, the neighborhood where Graham lived gathered for the grand opening of a new community park his company had quietly funded. Children played beneath bright blue skies while families enjoyed music and laughter. Standing together, Graham admitted that all his wealth meant very little without people to share life's meaningful moments. Vivian realized the greatest treasure she had found was never financial security. It was discovering someone whose character remained unchanged regardless of success. Before this story comes to its close, we would love to hear from you. Please leave a meaningful comment sharing whether you believe a person's true value is revealed by their wealth or by the way they treat others when no one is watching. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, leave a meaningful comment, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to our channel so you never miss another emotional journey. May this story remind us that appearances often hide extraordinary truths. Kindness is the richest currency anyone can possess, and sometimes the person who seems to have the least is quietly carrying the greatest heart of all.